Get My Life tour in one word, it would be vulnerability. Showing up for yourself is so important. Welcome to the Get My Life tour. I'm your host, Lydia T. Blanco. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Get My Life tour. It is me, your host, Lydia T. Blanco, and as always, I am so excited that you decided to take center stage in your life and show up for yourself. Y'all, I'm so hyped. But you know what? Let me do what I'm supposed to do. If this is your first time, welcome to the Get My Life tour. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for choosing vulnerability, for choosing the opportunity to master self-love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing me, okay? You could be listening to anything else, but the fact that you decided to take time out of your day and take center stage with me here on the Get My Life tour means a lot. Now, if you have been rocking with me, I don't know for how long, since day 1, day 30, okay, season 2, season 3, which we are in, or the first season, thank you. Thank you so much for being a loyalist. Thank you for tuning in and listening with your heart and for being on tour. Y'all, guess what? I'm trying not to jump out of my chair, hit the microphone, shake the desk, hit the camera, all of that, okay? Because I'm so hyped. Y'all, this is officially the second year of production of the Get My Life tour. Boo, 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 boo. I am so blessed. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with gratitude. I'm also filled with a little, just an ounce of disbelief because I'm like, oh my goodness, I have been doing this. I really get to do this. I've been doing this with so much passion and dedication and love and consistency. Okay? Consistency. Come on. Being more of what you require. Being your own expectations. Hello, somebody. That is a very real thing that a lot of us are learning. And I'm so glad that I'm here. Okay? I have not arrived, but I'm here though. What's up? How about that? Okay. And so I'm hyped. And I have been thinking about this moment for quite some time. And I'm like, okay, so what does this look like? What does year 2 look like? I thought I was going to have all these balloons behind me and confetti and streamers and all these, I don't know. I just thought I would have this really embellished backdrop behind me. But I was like, you know what? I have all of that within me. The amount of energy that I have, of course, with just the thanks, the appreciation is so filling. So, was I able to get the balloons? No, but I'm about to make a cake, okay? And it's about to be so good. I would send you some, but you know what I'm saying? There is an international audience. Oh, did I just drop that? I'm sorry, let me pick it up. Yes. Okay. And therefore, I can't share it with everyone. But let's get back to the international audience. When I first decided that I was going to take center stage in my life, I didn't know who would be interested in coming on tour with me. In fact, in the first moments, I was like, you know what? This is a tour of one. Everybody cannot go. And I'm okay with that because I really needed to practice showing up for myself. And in doing so, it really made room for me to extend the invitation for other people to come with me. And to know now, okay, that there are people tuning in from over 80 countries internationally blows my mind, okay? It blows my mind. And I do not take it lightly. I'm like, what? Okay, so how many people? Where are they? What cities? And I've done this every season where I've stopped to shout out people from all over. And forgive me for not being able to do that, but I will just limit it to saying thank you. Thank you. I am blown away by the fact that people are tuning in consistently from different countries, but different time zones with different priorities and lifestyles, beliefs, cultures, norms. And you take the time out of your day, whenever that is, to listen to what is being shared here on this platform. That is beautiful to me. Like, thank you, God, Creator, Most High, Mother God, Father God. I am so blessed. And, what excites me more than being heard is being felt, right? Audio storytelling, is so powerful. But what captivates people, and I know this to be true as a journalist, but also just like a human first, is that feeling that you get. You want to come back, and the trust that is established. Thank you for trusting me with the stories that unfold here on the platform, on the Get My Life tour. To that extent, I just want to transition into more gratitude, okay? And I want to thank each and every individual who has shown up and showed out here on the Get My Life tour, okay? Oh, I remember late 2018, early 2019 when I was actually deciding like, okay, and I'm consulting with all these different people, doing my research, and really was trying to commit to the idea of doing this, y'all. I couldn't think of many people who I thought would say yes. Now, people like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, likability, politics, respectability, politics are a very real thing, okay? And while I was able to lean even though I had a network that I could lean into, I still was not sure of who was going to say yes. Straight like that, okay? And it's because I had this fear that people would kind of question what I was doing because it wasn't associated with the organization that I worked for at the time. And I was like, oh, well, they really say yes. They love my interviewing style. They said, oh, you could do this and do that. And they said they believed in me. And doubt, fear, all of those things became ever present in my moments of planning this. So I did not know who was going to say yes. And I remember doing my outreach and beginning to have conversations about what I was doing with people. And people began to say yes. I was like, it'd be so great if we had this conversation on my podcast, to Get My Life tour. I'm actually working on it now and all of these things. And people began to say yes immediately. And so while I'm expressing my gratitude, of course, I want this to be resourceful for whoever is tuning in, And so what I offer to you is to make your request known. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to talk about what you are doing. Share. I know we live in this information age. We also live in this comparison age, okay? We're just going to call it what it is and then just throw social media on that, okay? The interwebs got a lot of us out here set tripping. And we think that we have to hold firmly and so closely or on so tightly what it is that we're doing. We can't let nobody know because let me tell you something. Not only does a closed mouth not get fed, a closed off individual isn't able to be nurtured or supported. And so what I realized was when I began to speak about what I planned on doing, what I was planning, and share freely, people were willing to say yes. I realized that there are more people who believed in me than I thought. And there were people who were waiting for me to do this, y'all. That right there was like, what? I think we hear it a lot, and I've even said it a lot myself. There's someone waiting to hear from you, or there's someone waiting for you. I remember hearing from Pastor Mike. Y'all know I shout him out pretty much every season, okay? And, I remember a theme of the church being like, creation is waiting, or we are the ones, creation is waiting for. And I knew that, but it took me producing the Get My Life Tour to actually realize that. And so to have so many people say yes, and for people to say in one way or another that, look, this is what we've been waiting for. I thought you were never, and I was like, oh, what? Okay. I just sounded like Lil Jon, but like, you feel me? Like, for real, people were waiting. And to me, that was so encouraging. It is still encouraging when I'm finding out who is listening to the Get My Life Tour and who reaches out or engages with me because someone they known has tuned in. And it still blows my mind how many people are interested, okay? Continuity is a real thing. And being able to keep someone's interest over time, it's not easy. I think some people think because they've been doing something for a long time, like longevity doesn't equate interest, right? People be in relationships 20, 30 years, 12 years, 5 years, 7, 15 years. They don't like each other. They just there, okay? It's just like, oh, we're together, or this makes sense, or for the kids. You remember Jar from Love and Hip Hop, for the kids, right? But a lot of people are living life like that. And I'm just like, whoa. There's a genuine interest of getting through. And I tell you all the time, like, the Get My Life Tour is a how through lifestyle podcast. How you live your life is your business. And to know that people have adopted that and people are tuning in because of the incredible people who've been able to take center stage and share how they've gotten through, that doesn't just bless me. And I don't take that lightly. So I'm so grateful. I wish I can rattle off the names of each and every individual who has been on the Get My Life Tour. And while I do remember, I don't want to forget anyone, right? And be like, and scramble to find their names. But I'm going to do something special on social, and it's going to be cute. It's going to be engaging. So stay tuned. But thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your story. Thank you for saying yes, for having a yes in your heart. Thank you for being willing to share and help other people get through. That is not easy. There have been so many moments here on the Get My Life Tour where people have shared things for the first time. We've had a lot of teary-eyed moments of pause, moments of breakthrough and transformation. And that doesn't just happen when we're recording, when we're having conversations, when we're planning. I'm having pre-production calls and scheduling. No. Like, that happens. And the fact that it happens, I don't want to say it happens. The fact that those who tune in are experiencing breakthrough and feel vulnerable and comfortable enough to share with me is amazing. Like, what? I've always wanted my work to mean something. And while journalistically, I've been able to do great things telling Black stories, writing about business and entrepreneurship and career, lifestyle, all these great things. This right here, like the Get My Life Tour, this is it. And there are so many ways that I'm excited about telling stories, but being able to partner with people and them share freely, unscripted. It's not about what they do, where they live, blah, 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 how much money they have. It's about them. We don't get that a lot. And so to be favored, to be called, to be trusted to do this, I'm just like, So thank you. That's my long thank you. Thank you, my goodness, to each and every person who has taken center stage. Now, there has been a lot that I have learned since podcasting, okay? The first thing is doing things afraid. That's not new. I didn't come up with this. This is not, any methodology that I've created. But this right here, I've had to do a lot of afraid. Even with as good as I am with this, like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've been in media and all this other jazz for so long. I've been trained to do this, academically, collegially, all this other stuff through experience. But this right here is next level for me. Even turning on my camera today, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shoot some behind the scenes because there is more video coming in the 4th season and in the 2nd year. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really letting y'all in. So doing it afraid. My encouraging words to you would be to do whatever that thing is afraid. And fear is beastly, but it is a very real thing. Some people have an acronym, false evidence appearing real. I remember my father sharing that with me and my sister in childhood, but it's a very real thing. And there are going to be some things that you have to do afraid. Podcasting, honestly, has been one of the things that I've done afraid. I can go back to episodes that I deleted and started over again. And man, how many times I have pressed re-record, and I have those things. I'm like, I got to keep this for my own archive. And if you could hear me, if you could hear the way my voice was trembling, you would have thought I've never been on a microphone, have asked anyone a question, or have spoken freely. Okay. I've taken stage performing spoken word, doing all kinds of different variety acts, this, that, and the third. And when it was time for me to speak up on my own behalf and to exert what I know for sure, I was just like, oh, well, and I'm like, what, girl, say with your chest, okay? Speak from your core. So do it afraid. The second thing that I have learned is that what I say carries weight. I had an understanding of that before, but having people reach out and share what resonates or what has resonated with them reminds me of the power of our words. And I'll just go ahead and say, as a gatekeeper, as someone who is an excellentness and wants to do good work and leave my mark, I have to remember that what I say, number one, is going to live on the internet forever, right? But also it carries weight. And so I'm very intentional about what it is that I share here and who it is that I invite to take center stage, because the goal is for us to experience transformation, for us to get what we need as we go through, right? And we have to be careful, right? Power lies in the tongue. I'm botching this right now, but life and death, right, is in the power of our tongue. And so I have to be extremely vigilant about what it is that I say here and be responsible and take accountability for what it is that I share. So I don't play on this platform. I make a joke here and there, and I'm quite funny. So I say what I say, but I also have to be, like I said, extremely mindful about what it is I share, because what I do say carries weight. And I'll remind you, right? Or this will serve as a reminder, hopefully to you as well, to be intentional, to be impeccable, right, with your word. And so that is something that I have taken more seriously over the last 2 years, especially as people, share And as I engage in healthy discourse, this, that, and the third, right? Nothing that I say here is Bible, but it is what I believe and what I've experienced. And I'm sure those who've taken center stage can say the same thing about what they've said. But, got to be mindful. Okay. Now look, this one has been hard because I edit, host, produce, market, all this other things, the podcast, all things by myself, right? But asking for what I need. Help. Oh my gosh. Y'all help. Yes, Google is incredible, but being able to ask people for help is a real, it's such a real thing. Okay. And so I've learned to better ask for help. I hope I said that right. Okay. But really, I've had people gift me with things. I've had people give me feedback and, suggest things over the last 2 years that have really helped me to grow as I do this. And this is what I love, right? Being able to tell stories, being able to talk, be on camera, be heard, all these other things, but also be impactful. And so being able to ask for help is one of the things that I've really have I don't know. It's like a skill that I've sharpened. I don't know if it's a skill or what. I don't really know how to say it, but I really don't like asking for help. But in doing this, I'm like, even though I know what I know, I don't. And so I have to ask for help. I've also had to really be okay with not comparing myself and my progress to others. I know my numbers. I'm comfortable with my numbers, but there is the business side of podcasting. And I've had the opportunity to talk about this in conversation with other media professionals on their platforms. And it's been great. And I did a lot of research on this before I got started and in my journalism, talking about these things for creatives who wanted to tighten up or smarten up about business. And I have to remind myself all the time, mind your business, okay? Mind your business. I am not one who compares themselves to others often. Like, I like to know my industry, know my numbers, and mind my business because I am not getting dragged by myself, okay, or my insecurities comparing myself to other people. You're not going to catch me doing that, okay? I ain't got time for all of that. But I have to remember, like, okay, mind your business. This is fun. This is what I love, but this is also a part of my business. And so I offer that to you as well. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're pursuing, know your numbers, know your industry, be able to speak intelligently about it, but mind your business. And I know a lot of people like mind your business and they mean stay out of theirs. But look, do that too, okay? Because it's counterproductive to plan, to do good work, to strategize, to do good work, but always be looking to your left and to your right. It's a waste of time, honestly. And you're only playing yourself. You're only putting yourself further back because your attention is divided because you're not focused on what you're supposed to be doing. And so that I offer to you as well. Look, there have been so many incredible stops on this tour. I'm going to go for a couple of my favorites. Do not take it personally if I do not mention the stop of the tour that you grace center stage and you are tuning in. I'm just thinking of episodes that came top of mind to me. I'm going to try to remember some mic drop moments as well and share those with you. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to do one from each season to be fair to myself and my memory, okay? And so from season 1, I would say one of the top episodes that spoke to me was, this sounds like Lydia to the stage. I know that's crazy. Like, oh, it's my episode. But I really feel like that's when I came out. I was like, whatever, right? I really had Cardi in my head. I was like, this sounds like Cardi with the braids, okay? And so I was really proud of myself for getting that out there. I was really afraid of the sound of my own voice. For so long, I heard that I sound too sensual. And I was like, I'm not trying to be seductive. I'm just trying to tell stories. And so getting over that hurdle and just getting over the shakiness of my own voice and just letting people know, like, I'm out here. What up? That will always be like, and it was such a short episode. Oh my gosh. People were like, I thought there was more. And I was like, nah, that was it. Honestly, in the first season, there were so many people who said yes to me. And so I want to thank everybody who really started this podcast out. Miko Branch. Oh, goodness. Ashley, my sister. Hello, somebody. Stacy. Who else? Fancy. I believe you were in season 1. Oh, my goodness. Brittany, were you season 1? I think you were. Natasha. So many incredible women who were there from the beginning. So many of those women encouraging me to say yes and stick to it. I will also say that a highlight from season 1 was literally traveling from place to place so that I can say that I was actually on tour. And so I was with a previous employer at the time, and I was traveling a lot for work. I was trying to figure out, how do I do this? And so I remember trying to communicate with people who were going to be guests and coordinate with guests about recording with them in their city. Of course, this is all pre-pandemic. And I was a mess. I remember being in Atlanta and recording season 1 and having a conversation with Jasmine Marie. And we were talking about Black Girl Breathing, her platform. And I'll never forget going from Atlanta, Hartsfield, in an Uber to Monday & Co., where she was working out at the time. Recording, we had one mic, okay? One mic. And I was like, okay, well, how do I sit? And how do I place the microphone? I had already tested out the microphone. And I was just like, this is going to look so odd. And I think on that side of the tour, she was a bit louder because I was like, okay, let me give her the mic since she's a guest. And I was like, I'll just try to speak from my core. Funny moment. I wish I had the behind the scene footage. Even with Akila, I cannot forget Akila Cadet. We spoke about wellness in the workplace. Oh, and at that time I was done. Okay. And we had one mic and we were sitting in her apartment in Oakland. Shout outs to her. She's now a homeowner. Congratulations, girl. And it was just such a good time, right? Here's another learning. Enjoy the beginning. Sometimes we're so caught up in perfection that we don't enjoy getting started. And those are supposed to be the fun and exciting long days, right? Long nights, but appreciate them so that you can have those moments when you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, remember when I was podcasting out here with guests with one mic and they still trusted me? Thank God it wasn't COVID, right? They felt comfortable sharing a mic with me. We made it work. And it's still, those episodes, by the way, are ones for the book. Like, those episodes really spoke to people. And I did them afraid. I did them with very little equipment, just the skill that I have, my God-given gifts. And I was faithful with what I had, right? So I'm smiling ear to ear because getting started is important, and being able to enjoy the start, right? How you start is how you finish. Now, thank God I'm going to have more than one mic. I have, for the record, I have more than one microphone now. But I also have people who are willing to be supportive and resourceful, who trust me and will ride with me with however many mics I have, okay? And however many crazy traveling stories and me trying to get to them. Man, I was in Oakland. I was in New York. I was in Atlanta. I was so many different places trying to have these conversations and not even trying, coordinating to have these conversations, and it worked. Here we are 2 years later. Okay, season 2. Season 2. That's a hard one. That is a really hard one. I felt like season 2 was fire. Okay. Boo, 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 boo. I really got to get some sound effects, y'all. Season 2 was so lit. All right. Let me think of a guess swiftly. Oh my goodness. Who was a guest in season 2 that was phenomenal? In season 2, I had a really good conversation with the Vegan Hood chefs. They were incredible. Who else did I speak to in season 2? I want to say Brittany Dandy, because I spoke with Brittany Oliver this season, which was also a great conversation. So many things came up in season 2 for me that I didn't realize I needed to talk about. And so I get this question all the time. How do you come up with topics of discussion? Honestly, it's my curiosity. Yes, people lead with their expertise. But when I'm doing my research on people or as people are reaching out to me, I'm like, let me find the gap in the conversation, right? Because I don't want people coming here and telling the same stories that they tell everywhere else. Like, let's get a little exclusive because we finna get real transparent. And people know that. They expect that. We have all these pre-production calls and all this other stuff. So, I really look for the gaps. I look for a lot of questions that I have, right? And I often say this. I think I've said it more in the first and second season and not as much in this one, but life often throws these questions or poses these questions to us that we don't have the answers to, right? And so I want to get my life tour to fill in that gap, right? Yes, we're getting our lives, but we're also getting the questions to life that come at us with very little preparation. And I believe one of the ways that we get those answers is through relationship with other people, right? Being in community. That's why I love being on tour with y'all. Okay. This is not a selfish act. And so that's how I honestly get a lot of the conversations, or topics of a discussion, And the conversations are free flowing, right? Y'all hear the same 3 questions. If I even say all 3, and who are you in your own words, and always, just like my 3 questions, you can pretty much figure them out. But it's easy when you're connecting with good people. It's easy. It flows. When you're aligned, it flows. When it's on purpose, it flows. There's so many great people in season 2. I'm trying to think of more. I don't know why it is not coming to me right now. Let me just go ahead and go to the getmylifetour.com, plug, and kind of just like go through who has been on here, because it's hard for me to remember right now. I feel like I'm drawing a blank, but I do want to deliver on what it is that I said I would. So let me go ahead and scroll. Okay. Art and ambition. That was such a good conversation with Addie Roar, entrepreneur, artist, and the founder of Art and Ambition. Okay. Now, I don't know how I forgot about this one. I didn't even forget, but it just didn't come top of mind. Randy B. Celebrating transitions as when. I feel like my life is a transition at times, okay? But that stop on the tour, I believe that is how we kicked off. We kicked off 2020 with Celebrating Life. So did we? Is that what we did? Can you guys remind me? I think that's what we did. Hey, Sus. Look, I want to say January 6th, 2020. We kicked this off. How to celebrate transitions as wins. Randy B, I love you to life. Such a great conversation. Season 2. Now, all season 3 has been fire. It really has been. The last stop on this tour was incredible with Talia Boone, but you know, another good one from season 2, Monique Rodriguez. That was really good. Okay, so season 3. Let me just get into it real quickly because I'm like belaboring. I feel a bit, but I'm celebrating. Welcome to the party. In the words of Pop Smoke. But season 3, definitely a highlight for me was having on Sarah Jakes Roberts, and it was because I actually reached out to her team when I first started this. I was super ambitious, and I had actually been working on an event with her father for my previous employer. And so I was like, you know what? This might be an opportune time to kind of just be like, hey. And so I reached out. I went to her website, filled out the form. Someone actually got back to me. We had a nice dialogue back and forth. And then I think the new year, 2020 was, we were on the brinks of 2020. And it was like, her calendar is full. And I was like, at least I tried. And you know what? Because someone responded to me, I now have a connection, right? A connection. And so I was like, you know what? I think this is a not now, not a no. And I'm okay with that. And so when I learned that Woman Evolve, her book was coming out, I was like, you know what? I got this Forbes leverage and I'm still doing my podcast. I'm going to reach out. And so I did. And so I did a twofer. Okay. Here goes the piece of advice as I share this story. Leverage every relationship in that you have. Okay. And know that this is a 2-part, okay, for the twofer, that not every not now is a no. Okay. Sometimes you really have to wait for the perfect timing. At that point, I wasn't doing numbers and didn't have like all that I have now. And I still want so much more, right? But it just wasn't meant to be. And I had to be okay with that. But like I said, leveraging, right? I was able to say, hey, I would love to talk to you about your book. And you know what? Since you're doing so much promo, come on, let's leverage my podcast. Like, let's do this. I've already reached out. It was a not now, then, but I really feel like this is an opportune time for a yes. And it happened. I was over the moon because her ministry really speaks to me and has helped me on my tour. Okay. I'm like, there have been some days I'm taking stickies, I'm transcribing and listening to Sarah in one ear. And I don't know how I was able to multitask. Okay. God's hand was clearly on me because I got things done, but I also got the word and I was able to get through and secure her for the Get My Life tour. And so now people are like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I have the same feeling. And, it also creates another opportunity, right? For those who join me here on tour, they're like, I can now say that I've been on the same platform as, this and that person. And we create those opportunities for one another. I think so many times, or so often, better yet, people create this air for themselves and they only do things with certain people, right? Like the exclusivity is like, the level of selectiveness is like, and it's very annoying, right? Because we should be finding opportunities to put other people on. And I'm just grateful to be able to do that, to be able to manage a platform that creates that kind of access and opportunity for other people. Being mindful of what it is that I am able to leverage and being patient and being a steward of what I'm creating, what I'm building, and what we have been able to build in community with one another as we show up, right? I know that was a mouthful. So that was a highlight, a little, word of wisdom, and hopefully a source of encouragement for you as you wait and see, as you plan, as you do. And as you build community around yourself and around your product or your podcast, that book, that ebook, I don't know, that line of whatever it is. Oh, season 3, it's lit, okay? If you haven't heard most of the stops on this tour, like, be sure that you tune in, okay? Because it is fire. In season 4, oh, y'all not ready. Y'all are not ready because I'm barely ready, and I'm on season. It's a lot, and it's only getting better. And like, to know that season 3 is still not over. Like, we're gonna reach, I don't know what that little odd I don't know what I just did with my mouth, excuse me. I feel like I just like snorkeled, or not snorkeled. Snorkeling is what you do when you go underwater. Snorkeling is fun. I've done that in the Belize before, fun fact. I guess I just snorted, excuse me, and then I just gave you all of that information. Okay, y'all know I'm quirky. It is year 2, season 3. But I lost my train of thought, which is really sad. But okay, y'all are familiar with Lydia Blanco. Hi, I am she. And so all of that. Okay, so here's what I want to say. Season 4 is going to be incredible. And in this 3rd season, we are going to reach 100 episodes. That's so exciting to me. 100 episodes. I'm going to have to do it real big. And if you have any ideas, if you want to submit any feedback or be in touch, be sure to email me at joinme@thegetmylifetour.com. Look, I'm supposed to have a mic drop moment. I really am. But I don't know what else to say other than thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for showing up, not only for me, but for yourself. Thank you for taking this tour seriously. Thank you for everything. You know, I could just be talking into a microphone, into the Yeti, and into this computer, and that be it. But you decide to show up, and that means so much to me. Oh, I really don't know what else. I feel like that's it. Sometimes we just have to drop the mic because we're so grateful. Maybe that is my mic drop moment. But look, I'm full. I really am. You know, I have been challenged in ways that I have not been challenged before or had not been challenged before. I have really proven to myself my abilities and have become what I've needed as I do this work. And so, thank you. Okay. Look, I guess for the first time, you're not getting like an actual clear mic drop moment. So, boop. Love me, forgive me. Okay. As always, look, I want you to stay in touch. Visit thegetmylifetour.com. Listen to this podcast and share it, review, subscribe, download, all that good jazz, whatever it is that you listen to podcasts. Audible, Amazon Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, the website, wherever it is that you listen to podcasts, honestly. And, stay in touch on social media. There's going to be a lot unveiling, a lot that is going to be redesigned and all this other jazz in this 2nd year in this upcoming 4th season. And so I'm excited about it. And I hope you are too. As always, if you want to stay connected with me and my work journalistically and creatively, be sure to visit lydiatblanco.com or connect with me on social platforms. On Facebook, you can stay connected with my work at by Lydia T. Blanco. And so I'll leave you with this. Be kind to yourself. Trust your gut. Take care of your gut health, okay? Drink your water. Take deep breaths. Do something for yourself, okay? And until then, I will see you right back here on the next stop of the Get My Life tour. It has been real. Peace.